My name is Manne. I'm a creative director here at Stockholm Surfboard Club. And my background is I'm a surfer, and amongst other things. But I'm a surfer. I build surfboards. I've been working as a carpenter. I've been working with fashion or clothing and design, and I've been working with film. And now we're doing this little project.
And I'm Anton. I'm the CEO of this company, and my background is that I'm not a surfer, but trying to learn. I've been in the fashion industry the last 6 years at different companies here in Stockholm. Comes from born and raised here.
We both was working at Acne Studios at the same time.
Yeah.
So we met there in the corridor over lunch.
Exactly.
But yeah, and then we've been friends. I'm head of the creative stuff and
More business related stuff.
we complement each other. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, first, we don't see Stockholm Surfboard Club as a fashion brand, really, in that sense. We're more a surf brand, or more lifestyle, or it's more community driven anyway. To try to get away from that fashion world, but we both have, like you said, we both have the background from fashion. And I know Anton has worked in multiple brands. My experience is only from working as a designer at Acne Studios, and definitely that reflects, I mean, that experience was great when it comes to design and the process, and Jonny Johansson, who's the creative director there, he's a good friend of mine, and with his experience it's been really helpful for our journey, and as a friend he's really helping me to move forward. I mean the full experience from that time was helpful, and to kind of implement it here with the surfboard that I've always been shaping. It's a nice mix. I hate to bring up the pandemic as always, but we launched this pretty much right before the pandemic, and with the idea also of this space to work as a clubhouse and a hub for people and creatives to visit and to be able to work and to do concerts and events and show movies, and it doesn't have to be fully surf. It can be someone who's making sculptures or making whatever. But what we want to do is to gather that, like the creatives within the surf industry and friends of us that would be, you could call club members. It's not defined at this stage, but it's more of to work on those type of projects. And the long time goal is to activate the club more and more. It's more, what's really interesting to do is not to make products and just make products. It's more about the products can accompany the organization and the community, because surfing is a very community driven thing. We have a small surf scene, which people still don't understand. But the Baltic Sea is not giant, but we do get some waves, and it's a fun little community. I wouldn't say it's not massive, but but it's like every summer it feels like you see new faces that you're like, where do you come from? Without being hostile, but still like you're like, oh fuck, more people. And we can't say anything because we're actually doing this project, so we're, you know, you gotta be careful what you say. But it is definitely growing, and now, I mean, even in the winter time now, normally it was pretty, you know, a lot of people in the summer, but then a lot of people like in October, November, the crowd kind of fell off and you could surf in the winter time without anyone. But now, even in January when it's like 0 degrees, you have a crowd. And we have some nice waves also. I mean, a lot of the famous breaks get, especially here in Stockholm, it's a beach break, which is nice because it can swallow a lot of people. So it's not really a problem with the crowd. It can get dangerous sometimes, you know. But
yeah, for me as a beginner, I would say it's not maybe the best place to learn.
No.
You need to be careful out there. As a small brand, we still want to try to control it and stay relatively small. I don't think we don't plan to scale up super fast. It's fun if we can, you know, grow a lot, but I think we both like it when it's, you know, quite tight, not too big, and also when you design the products and the collections that we do, we try to keep it tight. We don't want to overdevelop. Also with the boards, it's hard to, when you do handshake boards here in Stockholm, it's hard to make it a big production.
I'm not worried about growing, but I don't think we're aiming to get, you know, giant and go into the supermarkets either. But I think we're far away from doing it. I mean, we're just getting started, and as long as we keep doing what we're doing now, which is being quite hands-on, we're in a really, I'm super happy where we are at the moment, because we're able to be really creative with what we do, and without too many people who have interest in what we're doing. You know, we can control what we're doing and show it to people, and if hopefully people enjoy it or get inspired by it, or so I think it's a nice place to be small right now.
Yeah, and I think we're also trying to be a bit selective when it comes to the distribution and where we grow, and we would like to, you know, work with the best players out there and grow with them, and not grow with too many, instead of selecting a few and really make a good impact with these partners.
As a young brand, again, it's, you know, in the DNA to be sustainable. That's, you know, to a certain extent at least, or try to have the goal. It's hard to do everything from the start. We try to scale down, we try to work with good materials. We know that our factories are great, you know, both in a sustainable way for the workers, and we, you know, it's where we put the production, how we do the transportation. You can't, you know, you can say what you want about making surfboards, because it's not sustainable, but, you know, the amount of surfboards that I make are not, you know, I don't blow out 2,000 surfboards in a year. And so it's a different type of product in that sense. It's more of an object that I hope, it's like the surfboards we have in the studio here that are from the 70s, you know, because they're not been popped out like in that way. So I hopefully if you buy a surfboard from us, you want to keep it, even if it's like, you know, if you grew out of it, or you don't, you know, like surfing it for those years, whatever, that you want to keep it as a, you know, to remember where you come from. So for the surfboards, I'm not too worried about the sustainable way of doing it because it's such a small production. But the clothing is important, and I think also it comes down to design, to make stuff that you know, not being too like following trends, because if you make big sneakers just because it's popular to make big sneakers, then you know they're going to be old in a year or two.
It's really tough to start a business. It is, and I think you should, if you have something that you really, that you really like to do, it's great to try it out and just continue working towards that goal of yours. But what I've learned is that it's tough. It's not easy, and it's getting tougher and tougher. I think the market is getting. If you want to work in this, doing clothing, for example, it's not easy to enter the market. You really need something extra, I think. Even though we have a lot of connections and people around us that are knowledgeable about the business, it's not obvious that you will make it. You really need to push for it. You can do great products, and you can build a cool brand maybe, but to get people to buy it, it's not something that you just get. You need to stay focused and really push.
It's great to travel, I think. If it's been not been able to travel the last year, but to be young and travel is good, to get different, see the world, obviously, but it's not that obvious, and everybody does not have that possibility, but if you have the chance to do it, I think it's really, really good, and also to not be afraid of change your life if you're not happy with your situation, or with your job, or with your studies, or with your, do something else. People get stuck sometimes. I think it's
that's
good
a good
to change.
point, actually. Don't be afraid to change, direction in your life. There's a lot of people, I went to business school, and a lot of people that I know, they really live for their work and just work. But maybe, I'm not sure if all of them are satisfied with their life. I have a great time here now because this is such an amazing place to be at, and you do different tasks every day, and it's a lot of fun instead of just sitting in front of your computer and doing the same tasks every day.
Okay. Ja.